everybody, and welcome back to another Space Engineers video, where today we are going to be looking at the Space Engine 2 gameplay. In the latest live stream, the alpha release live stream, they have showed some actual in-game footage, and I want to just look over it and basically just explain my thoughts. I've literally seen it maybe 5 minutes ago. I just wanted to make this video, get it out there with my current opinions. Obviously, there's going to be so much to change, and there's going to be a lot to talk about, so let's get on with it. Okay, so, Space Engineers 2. Early access will be available from the 27th of January 2025. So less than a month away. But it's not going to show absolutely everything, as you can see here. We're going to be able to mess around with the new grid system. So obviously, this Space Engineers 2 isn't going to have two grid sizes, let's say. It's not, you haven't got small and large grid. You've got one grid which has multiple different sizes which can be attached to it. So obviously you've got the 25, 50 and the 2.5 meter respective sizes. Looks like it's going to be fairly easy to run. So it's going to be only the creative aspects. It's not going to be a survival aspect. It's not going to be that. You're not going to see the planets or the water system, but you're going to be able to see the sort of RTX ray tracing, that kind of thing. You're going to be able to see the destruction, and you're just going to be able to see the actual overall performance for the V-Rage 3 engine in its current state. They've already confirmed that there's a roadmap. I'll probably either show it in this video or the next one, where they show a lot of the other things they want to get on with, but let's continue.
For the first time, so this is the main menu of the game.
Again, familiar loading screen icon, but except enhanced.
Pretty cool.
Level.
It's a pretty cool loading screen, I've got to admit.
So the first thing that I really want to show is the...
It'll be nice to see if they have different photos which sort of rotate along or something, but I like the loading bar, the whole sort of global system.
Oh, and we're in. This is it.
First thoughts, it looks cool. However, I don't like the toolbar and the sidebar. It looks very, very basic.
Okay,
I don't think it's to stay.
Game music.
So we have the new hut with all these things.
Oh, the paint
But this is
gun
cool. They
paint
actually
gun.
confirm the paint gun. Again, very, very basic UI stuff, but it's understandable.
And select some
So
this will be 50 centimeter.
you can see how they can change the different block sizes with obviously the color place blocks. This shows the power of the actual
Inside of
grid
that, like, U-shaped
system.
med bay, yeah.
Being able to do
So
that
that's
is
my favourite thing. There
absolutely
is no
amazing.
Large or small grid, it's just grid.
Yes.
So
And I can build like
Yeah,
this.
that's going to be so good for being able to build. Just being able to place
how's the sound, guys? Let me know. I'm
inside.
being very careful with it.
Utterly,
America's
utterly
playing right now.
amazing.
Do we put the sound up or down? I can give you more.
One thing I'm
sound, but I'll
interested
focus
in
on how
is how
America's
the
picking it.
painting's going to work in
So this is
terms
how you can
of...
build, inside of the
From what I can tell, you can only paint like the one grid size face. It'd be really cool if, if you switch to these smaller grid sizes and try paint a block,
build here
you
one
can paint the
block
small
by
ones.
block.
Obviously that's possible if you replace an entire block, like 2.5 meter block, with, a bunch of the 25 centimeter blocks. Because that's another thing, I don't think you can sort of like cut out a 25 centimeter by 25 by 25 centimeter chunk out of a larger block. I don't think that is possible in the game
You can select the smaller block
currently.
and I can build, for example.
Yeah, just the fact that you can just completely, go off what the quote-unquote
Yes.
big grid says.
25 centimeter gap that I made.
It's just so cool, and how seamless it is,
By the way, this is how
The only way we could change grid sizes for like large to small grids would be to use some kind of like subgrid like a rotor or something, and it would make it slightly unstable and you'd never 100% get it perfectly. Here, you can just absolutely do that. Also, the undo and redo feature, another amazing, amazing feature. However, I still don't know how it's going to work in survival. They didn't talk much about it.
which we actually call
They're
detail
more,
in
to
queue.
be honest, they didn't talk about a lot of different things. They more or less just showed a lot of things off and kept a lot of it hidden. So
Amazing.
I don't know. I noticed there. If you look, if you zoom in, let's go back a little bit.
Called detail in queue. And
And right about there, you can see distinctively the 25, the two, so there's a line down there, the 5, 50 centimeter, and then obviously the large blocks, they have a distinctive line. When they're a part of their own blocks, they merge, but they don't merge smoothly between each other. That is one thing I noticed. So it's interesting, but still kind of cool. It makes sense in a lot of ways.
Amazing.
They also didn't confirm how the health of blocks are going to be. So obviously, a large block like that is going to have a lot more health than a small block, but how much? I don't know.
There is this thing. So let's remove it. I removed that one. Okay, so let's just redo.
And here's the redo feature.
Place it again, you know.
Just very cool.
Getting used to having that undo redo in terms of your memory.
Also, do you see that the landing?
There we go.
They're going to talk about it later on, but
I can be showing
the
you
landing in this game,
we need to speed up.
very cool, very
So we
cool.
have
Yeah. So let's look on partial blueprint. So the way I want to show it is
What are they going to talk about in
I
there?
can build some of these. I don't know how they are called. These catwalks. So imagine building.
See, this is very cool. The fact that, you know, you can just build straight upon whatever. It's this. You'd imagine a catwalk like this would be a large grid block, but like I said, there's no, you know, you don't have a large and small grid. So they may be, you know, the 2.5 by 2.5 centimeters wide, but they're only, you know, 25 centimeters thick, which means you can just stack them onto other whatever you want.
And then you can move that out.
And this copy and paste feature,
control how much you
it's going to be nice.
Using the WSD keys, and there you go. You copied that. I mean,
It's going to be really nice, especially this feature coming up. The fact that you're going to be able to blueprint them and
of course,
use them in your hotbar.
Clipboard to blueprint. You know, so I need to go a little bit more complicated, but
Let's wait until they actually put it up.
What I will do now is that I will come here. I will press Ctrl B.
So it seems like the blueprint keybinds is going to be the exact same, Control B, but makes sense. The overall layout again just looks a bit weird. That's the thing. The game looks amazing. Skybox for me is a bit. The G menu looks, you know, it's got a lot of blocks, but I don't know, it feels very old. Like, it feels very original Space Engineers. For those who don't know, the original Space Engineers had a lot of grey in the main menu, and like greyish blue. And it's starting to come back a little bit. So I'm wondering if this is a very temporary, you know, beta alpha or whatever alpha feature. But, I don't know. The build, you can see the snapping, but doing this whole thing is amazing. Being able to just select whichever blueprint you want and put it in your hotbar. Oh, love it.
In terms of this building experience, it's because it's so much more efficient.
Yeah. So let's see the paint tool. So obviously you can do things like paint like this.
So you can see they're painting in the entire grid sizes. You can paint in like a circle area, which is interesting. I guess that's instead of like pressing Control and Alt and, you know, just painting a 3x3, you just paint like a set size. You've got a nice color picker, so you can't really complain about that.
So now it's, you know, and I can paint with the red.
It's simple, but it works. That's how I'm going to sort of describe it. And I'm currently trying to, you know, stay quite controlled. This is very cool. I really like, because I love Space Engineers. Space Engineers is one of my favorite games. if you didn't know.
They'll be improved.
It will replace the entire.
I like that feature.
Yeah, so it's
Being
quite
it like having the countdown. So you may have noticed there's a countdown for when you want to paint an entire grid. How many times have you been painting stuff and you've accidentally done the whole thing and painted everything?
Very nice.
The fact it has got a little timer.
Can maybe walk there.
Oh, I'm never gonna paint an entire grid by accident again.
So we're seeing some of the new station here.
And this is the voxel hand you can see, but I will show it here.
Voxels again. They look really cool. They look way more
I
realistic.
will just make some hole.
And come on, cut through into space. Do it. Oh,
There we go.
look at that.
Sun piercing through
Look
there.
at the ray tracing, and it is just very, very cool.
I have to read out some of these comments, Marek. Subaru says,
So another thing they wanted to talk about a lot of was the whole walking mechanics for like the mag boots. Look how much smoother it is. It's and again the asteroid. Look how much details on the asteroid.
USA.
It's just great.
This game just got even more freedom, Marek.
It's just really, really good. Oh, actually,
Can you just go to the settings and change it?
here's another really, really cool feature.
Kilometers per hour, because we can see. We
So
can change it
the
meters per
I
second,
guess the
we can go
default
to the
is in kilometers an hour, but you've obviously got the meters per second, and you've also got miles per hour. So you've got different speed units. That's really cool because I don't know. I like meters per second, but for me being from UK, miles per hour, nice for vehicles. But they've increased the maximum speed limit. That's something else. It says 310, but they've confirmed 300 meters a second. Obviously, the base game is 100. So you can now go 3 times faster in this new engine as by default, a standalone game.
It's like much,
Oh, it's going to be
very
so
smooth
nice.
now.
Wonder how stable. See, they're not adding planets until like they cut like an update or two from like the alpha stuff. I just want to mess around with building rovers. Oh, I can't wait. I really, really can't wait.
So much smoother, yeah.
So we have the mining ship
Here's something else really interesting. So we get to have a closer look at the mining ships,
assigned.
and there is definitely new drills.
And returns what was there. It's really nice.
Marek, one of the things I
Definitely,
wanted to- again, just go back
definitely new
to,
drills.
the
But first, let's
How
have a look a
intuitive
little
the,
bit of the mining.
contextual hints, right?
So-
you see this, it's way better now for like knowing what to press and what something does. You have these contextual tooltips coming up.
It looks like it makes a lot of sparky noises.
So the new, oh yeah, these new drills.
And a lot of fire, which is weird for space, but I kind of like it.
That sound. I'm going to be turning up the sound sometimes, guys, so you can hear it in all its glory.
It's,
Yep.
yeah,
And for
it's
those
definitely
who want
glorious.
to see the controls,
You can, the digging into rocks feel way more like you're actually digging into stone. I feel like in the current version of the game, when you sort of dig, you know, you're just cutting out large chunks. Well, that, it feels like you're proper having to ram against it and actually ram them drills sort of in to break up the rock. It's so cool. It would be cooler if, especially like in space, if when you're digging, you'd get small fragments that would break off from a rock. So obviously you're collecting the majority of it. But if you just had a couple of just like chunks of rock just floating off into space, that would be
Marek,
so
can you show
cool.
the drills themselves when you get out next, just to show the like how they look.
But here's a closer look at the drills.
There we go.
They are very, very meaty.
A lot of meaty things in the game.
Again,
Or beefy, as I would call them. But meaty is a term they use.
It is, but it's
Yeah.
also really.
Look at the shape. Look how much more detail you're gonna be able to add to it.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
and going just.
Oh, it's just gonna be
as
so
forward as
fun.
you can and not doing any
Like
compromise.
so fun.
So yeah, and now let's go to the red ship, to the famous red ship.
And there's one block in particular, Marek, that I want you to have a look at on the right-hand side. Here it is.
Look at that.
So you guys are looking at the 7.
Look at that gyro.
Meter gyro in all its glory. So I guess if this was SE1, this
If
would be like
they're
a
gonna
large
spend
gyro,
that
but
much
doesn't exist
time
anymore. We just have
developing
So this is
like
2.5
moving
gyro. There's a 2.5
parts like
gyro,
that.
Which is, you know, like the north thing, but
this game
yeah,
is gonna
that's
be
the,
incredible.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's
can you imagine if
that's
they're
what
gonna
we
spend,
call
you
it
know,
on
do
the
all that with a
meter reach.
gyro? Could you imagine an assembler where they have like little arms in a window where they're actually manufacturing parts, and
All right. Are we doing this
refineries where
already?
you actually see like fire and stuff,
Okay.
and you know it
Fingers
melting the
crossed,
stuff?
let's go.
Oh,
Full
it's gonna be
steam
so
ahead.
cool.
Maybe I will go from the other cockpit.
Oh yeah,
And by
because
the
you
way,
might.
yeah, because I don't want to destroy the cockpit
Yeah,
with
yeah.
me. But we have redesigned this ship completely. You know, basically.
The red ship is
building
just so
a
iconic,
25 centimeter grid system.
and it
And,
really this proper shows what
much
you can do. Like
so
this
we
talking
can
about
do
with the 25 centimeter grid system, how much detail you've got. You'd never have this much detail.
So, yeah, so let's try it.
It's
And the new
just so cool.
thrusters, the new thruster effects as well, Marek. There.
Very new, very nice
And you can
thruster
aim- you can
effects.
actually
Yeah.
aim- oh, you can actually aim better with this new cockpit. We got enough speed. Actually, we're already going like 50. I don't think we had enough speed
The
that time.
the sim speed drop there concerns me slightly,
We're gonna back it up. Do it
and it
again.
concerned quite a few people in the stream. I'll say.
New
It
sound
certainly
is
slowed down when it
across
hit.
everywhere. There's new sounds, right? So the new thruster sound.
It's that concerns me a little bit. It's not quite as cool as I thought it'd be, but it's certainly cool.
And we can probably see the fractures as well on the inside, Marek. The fractures.
But
flying
the
around.
amount of
We
stuff
can actually go and check it out.
and
Yeah.
like
This
that
feels-
grinding and explosions of it rubbing against the other ship,
I've seen Marek
it
split that
feels
ship so many
proper
times.
good. It just looks good.
So let's
I'm
just
100% going to be playing it on the 27th. 100%. But it doesn't. It seems like the So you know, like we were talking about before, when the blocks get destroyed, they produce fragments. They don't seem to last very long. That's one thing I noticed. You know, they're sort of there for a little bit and then they're gone. Which I guess is to help with performance, so it's understandable.
The damage that you've done, Marek.
But yeah,
That's the classic,
it is cool.
Red ship versus blue.
Yeah. Oh, and we're gonna have a little peek at the green station here as well. Yeah, one of the things to mention is how moving more controls to the left hand in terms of the rotation and stuff like that.
Yes,
There's
yes.
more things are done with modifiers, I think now.
The lighting effect is just so
Oh, yeah,
good, and the
we should show
reflections
Marek,
on the
we should
glass
show
and
the,
all that stuff that you just don't see fully.
You mean this?
It's
side?
just
corridor,
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I'm
So
just-
good.
just
It's,
look at it.
Yeah,
Behind it.
I think.
Kind of.
Wait, even yeah, it's this way.
I
out
can't
the
wait to see
store.
what type of skins that they add for
There
blocks
we
and stuff
go.
and things
And
like
then to
that.
the right. Look at this corridor as well.
It's just like, even this corridor. Look at the
My
reflection
favourite
on the
corridor's
glass,
coming up. If
the
you
lights
run
and all the
around there,
shadows it casts everywhere.
through here.
Next. Okay.
Yeah, run
Oh,
through
it's
here.
so
and then
cool.
Take a right. And this take a right. In here, and this is where you'll see it. To the left.
And this is one thing that they really
other
wanted to
side.
show.
So guys, I just wanted to. This is one of the things that I noticed when I first was playing.
Look at the little
Do you see
engineer.
like the character's shadow?
Look at him.
Cast.
I'm gonna 100% zoom
Yeah,
in so you can see it.
It's quite small on the stream,
But
you might be able to see a couple of
everything in
pieces,
this
but
game is gonna
basically
have a
you can
perfect
see
shadow,
the
like
engineer's
perfect
shadow being cast
real-time
on
shadow.
the asteroid, like through the tunnel there, and it's something
It's
that
gonna be
I don't know
so
why, it's just
cool.
a random little small thing, but when
And
I
that's
was
the thing.
playing it, for
If
the
they're
first
gonna
time,
work on these small
like,
things,
wow.
you know, because that doesn't really make a difference
like,
for
it's
gameplay.
super sharp as
If
well.
they're
You can
gonna
see
work
the
on these
outline
small
of the engineer
things,
completely.
give them a
So,
couple of years,
that was
and this
something.
game
I
is
think
gonna
it's
be
beautiful.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing you got to think about. Current Space Engineers is 11 years
And
old
obviously
with
there's
the
ray
current
tracing,
engine.
and there's so many.
They've
on
reached a
the-
point
on the-
where they
on the
just
graphical
can't,
side, on the
you know,
render side,
update it
there's-
too much more. But
there's
they've
a lot of new
said
technologies.
this is one other thing they confirmed. They're gonna keep it, as in they're gonna keep updating it and keep with it. Space Engineers 2 isn't gonna completely just cut off Space Engineers 1.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just gonna be an addition. Look
Here
at
we
the
go.
look at the destruction.
There's no more. The debris is no more all the same, guys. It's based off of the block that it's created with, and actually, it's actually one of these.
See, this is
reasons
another
that
thing I was
creating
wondering,
blocks
with
is
the
actually
destruction,
more complex now,
if,
more than ever for artists,
with it
because they
whole
have to also
fragmenting and breaking
create
up,
them with
is the
fractures
fragmentation
every
like this
block.
only a thing if it's still not attached to the actual grid?
I
So
mean,
if I was to break one of them panels or something, and half was still attached to the ship, would it just be broken attached to the ship, or would it eventually despawn?
Testing purposes.
Because it'd be really cool to see, like, you know, half of a, like, a catwalk or a block still attached to your ship.
This is really just to show.
It looks like it looks like it is, because that floor there, there was an amount of floor which was still there, but with a massive crack out of it.
Destruction. All the blocks are filled with cake.
Ooh, meaty explosion. I say that the fire effect needs some work again, but
So we developed the gun first just to test.
it looks
the
good.
game. Then later we realized
And I've confirmed that it's just a debug tool, so
creative mode,
it's designed to be an overpowered tool just to, you know, show the breaking of stuff. It's not. That's not how a weapon's gonna work. You know, it's not like one bullet is just gonna completely annihilate an entire block.
To make it feel good, you know. So actually, in next vertical slice, you will actually have a gun, you know, some kind of like laser gun in your hand.
Yeah.
There will be better sound effects for
They
it.
have confirmed though in the
you'll be able
next
to destroy
update that there
voxels,
will be an
but still it's
actual
a, you know,
player,
gun.
you know, player-held weapon, so you'll actually be able to mess around. And I wonder if that's when they'll actually talk a little bit more about like block health and that kind of
It
thing.
was so good to see. I think that was a very nice intro. And obviously there are more things we can build. Like I think something that I would show on, you know, the next time I would again, some of this copying and pasting is
New cargo container.
modular building.
Very
This
cool.
blueprint system is I mean, there's so much. I'm focusing on that, but then I'll switch to another.
Here's
but-
another nice
the other
ship.
thing, Marek, is the armor edges as well. Just the people probably saw that,
Nice,
right? So
nice,
that's
yes.
also a big up.
And here's another thing they were talking about. So armor edges.
So you can see
So
them,
look how little
all
rounded,
armors
smooth they
have
are.
these
You know, rather than having that big grey block like
Yeah.
ridge around all the blocks, it's just they just round it. No longer do you need that mod to remove armor edges because they actually look nice now. Oh, it's amazing. And again, look at the actual blocks themselves. They're not just a texture; they actually have like an indentation to them. Oh, it's so nice. Don't get me wrong. I still just want to build rovers and like hydroelectric dams and all that kind of stuff with all the water system. But it's hard to not like what you see. Here's a better angle of it. Look at the actual like indentation. It's so nice. And again, like these actual little walls. Look how much detail they have.
Feel those panels.
It actually feels like you're there. And here's another thing that I want to see, or I want to know. Is there going to be VR in the game? Are they going to have VR support? Because if they do, I'm 100% playing this game in VR. Imagine just wandering around like your ship or your station after you've built it in VR and just looking around. Especially with this much detail. Oh, I would love it. Because we are getting very dangerously close to the amount of detail in this game at the moment where you could feel like you're there in real life.
Yeah, there's
Dangerously close.
Marek, could you just quickly do let's imagine that the Reds have taken over this green station. Could you just replace the green station with red again with the paint tool? So get the paint tool and then we'll see this. Just to show, like, this is super satisfying, guys. When I was playing that you can, you know, just, well, I guess find some green, I guess.
I can replace the whole.
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
no, just do the middle
Just
mouse
the
button
one.
on the green.
So this is something interesting. So this is one thing I was talking about. This paint tool, I wanted it to work a lot like how the mod works, where, you know, you can paint just certain grids, like certain colours on the grid.
Replaced only the green with the red.
Ta-da!
So it's so
100%
satisfying quickly
a
iterating
thing.
And it's weird, like, I've never seen
Amazing.
this station red. It's always been the green station. So that was something that I really
This
enjoyed.
paint tool is going to be just exactly what you want, and that's why I love Keen, right?
Yeah,
They
I see the hype
update
right
the
there.
game
I knew you
with
guys would love
exactly
this.
what the
So,
community wants. You know,
All the
it was a
reference
mod.
lights,
Everyone loved the mod.
everything.
Added it to the actual game. Don't get me wrong, it's a different game,
Yeah,
but
we
they've
can
added it,
asteroid,
they've built it
it's a
into
lot
the
of-
game.
Maybe one last. Let's focus a little
Oh,
bit
yeah.
more on the
So cool.
asteroids. So,
Yeah.
tessellation. So all these little details that you see here, you know, are like real
It's just
geometry.
the
not just
voxels
face
just
lighting.
look so
And what we
beautiful.
also did is we call it voxel ambient occlusion. So in the distance, you can see these white areas on the voxels, on the asteroids. that are kind of like enhancing the geometrical shape. You know,
So
there is
that's the
one-
thing. They're doing all these different
the
things to
geometry of
enhance, you know,
feeling,
just the visuals.
geometry,
But look how
it-
sharp they
it
look.
was always, even from,
Like they
for example,
proper stand out from the
Because
skybox, and
I knew that when
the
you
shadows are a
building
proper
and engineering
dark,
a
and
building game, you want people to actually feel
you
the
feel
shape
like
and the
you
geometry of the
feel
game.
like you're there, and you feel
That's
like
what's
all the
also
stuff
driving
actually has like a
the art
proper
style, that,
texture, like a
you know,
stone
the
texture, a
lighting, the
metal
shadows,
texture, you
the
know, a slight
color choices,
reflection
they
on
all
glass.
help to enhance the feeling of the geometry.
It's just really,
No,
really nice.
100%. And I think that the
I
team have done a
can't wait. I've
magnificent
said
job.
this before. I can't wait
Marek,
to mess around with it.
it's coming up too much, Marek. The players are asking about the cable on the on the engineer's waist.
Yep.
Is there anything you can say about that?
I can. I mean, I saw the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was just too many. There was.
The cable is just the cable. There
Just
is
the
no-
cable.
there
That's
is no
some
real
sad
function.
news. I was really, really hoping
But no.
that though. Well,
Who
I
knows?
do
Who knows?
still
But yeah,
hope
so that was
that they add sort of a rope mechanic to the game.
The chat was full.
Could
of
you imagine this
cable-
game with like
cable,
winches and things,
mentioned,
like
even with the stream
especially on
itself,
planets?
sorry.
Make yourself a
But it's
crane,
very
but
nice
actually have
to
a
see
rope.
cable, this, like,
Oh,
physically
please,
capable
Keen,
of
please.
land like that. So
I really want a
can
rope.
we get a couple more of the landing, Marek, in the third person? To show the
Really want a
animations?
rope.
I think then
Cables,
I
you
think we
know,
can move
pipes,
on for now,
all
even though
that
I'm sure you
beautiful
guys love to
stuff.
see more.
Really, really want it.
But
But
let
look
me
at
go,
this. Like, look at the.
landing.
Oh,
Jeez, there we go. That's good.
the landing. Like, you know, it's not just you don't just land. You
Sound, the animation.
you know,
Yeah.
crouch into it.
Awesome. Okay, guys.
It's
So that was that
just
gameplay
nice.
session today. Obviously, you can expect some more gameplay coming very soon. I
And
can't
that
wait
is
to
something I'm
share
looking
more
forward
today,
to.
so
I
it's gonna
really
be-
want
it's
more
gonna be
gameplay.
really good. And we're gonna, a bit of final destruction then, Marek.
Again, look.
There we go.
Like, look at them. Look at these walls. I'm gonna have to pause it here.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Let's go back. Like here. If these wall segments stay, like after the top has been blown off, that all that fragmentation, sure, that can despawn. But if this bit stays, one of the coolest things I personally think for this, for a game like this, imagine like a full-on shootout between like two different teams, and you can actually shoot out their cover. Like, you know, imagine it's almost like a paintball game or like an airsoft game, but you know, with actual guns. But you know, you're hiding behind cover, and your cover just gets like the edge chopped off, and you have to hide. But you know, whilst you're fighting, you can still see it. Oh, it's so cool. You guys will have to let me know what you personally think. But I am really looking forward to this game. I hope that they spend enough time on it.
So
I hope they don't ruin it, which I don't think they do. Will. I've had some people comment in one of the last update saying that they were very, very concerned with SE2 will be a worse version of SE1. I don't personally think it. With the stuff that I'm seeing, right? You know, the visuals, the looking of the blocks and stuff, and them confirming that they're not ditching SE1 when SE2 comes out. I don't think we've got much to worry about. Like I said, let me know. That is where I'm going to end today's video. I just wanted to show off this part. Basically be one of the first people to show it off, basically. Let me know what you guys think. I'm really looking forward to it. As always, my name's been Quantum Chief, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!